Over the last few years, I've done a lot of research into the purchase of military-style weapons by the administrative branch of the federal government. And that's not what this video is about necessarily, but there's a piece of it that I think is incredibly important, because if you take a close look at specifically the ammo that these administrative branches are purchasing to use on U.S. citizens, it's hollow point ammo. Now let's talk about that for a second, because when you look at the administrative branch of the federal government, all of them have established a police force. The IRS has a police force. The Department of Justice is a police force. The Railroad Commission has a police force. Veteran Affairs has a police force. Everybody has a police force, and they've armed these federal police officers, many of them with hollow point ammo. So let's just talk about that specifically. Because according to the Hague Convention of 1899, having any ammo that expands or flattens when it is shot into the human body is a war crime. It is not legal. It is a war crime. However, according to the Department of Defense Law of War Manual, if its use is not intended to cause unnecessary damage to the human body, well, then you can use it. So let's talk about this for a second, because again, it's really when it comes to foreign wars. And I want to remind you that this ammo, this is meant for U.S. citizens. This is domestic use only. So using hollow point ammo, federal cops using hollow point ammo on U.S. citizens, what is this? Well, I want to argue that the biggest piece of it for me, and why I'm even making this video, is it's extremely hypocritical. Let's talk about that for a little bit, because there are so many judges, many of them federal, that are throwing people in prison right now in America because they used hollow point ammo in their guns for self-defense. And the judge is saying that when they loaded that gun with that hollow point ammo, that they went outside intending to inflict a significantly more amount of damage on the human body if they had to use it than they would with other ammo, that they're choosing this. Well, you can't have it both ways, because according to the Department of Defense, the reason that the IRS using hollow point ammo is not a war crime is because it's not intended to cause unnecessary damage. Well, how is it your hollow point ammo is not intended to cause unnecessary damage, but my hollow point ammo is intended to cause unnecessary damage? This is the purpose of this video, because it's extremely hypocritical. Possibly a war crime, but extremely hypocritical at the very, very least. Because again, this ammo is intended for domestic use only. IRS isn't going to foreign wars to use this ammo. Domestic use only. And the only way that they can use it and it not be a crime is if it is intended to not cause unnecessary damage to the human body, according to the Department of Defense Law of War Manual. Now, if that is the case, mine neither. Neither is mine. And that's the piece that I think we have to kind of open up our eyes to, because there's really a war. Let's call it what it is. There's a war on ammo in America. There's people going to jail because they use 10 millimeter. It's just too powerful. You knew it would cause more damage. 40, too powerful. You knew it would cause a hollow point. Oh, you knew it would cause unnecessary damage. But yet, here we are. Here we are with, I have argued in the past that leave the policing to the police. When it comes to the administrative branch of the federal government, if the IRS needs to arrest somebody, they should lean on the Department of Justice to do that. Accountants should not be arresting people. Leave it to the FBI to do the arresting. Don't leave it to the Railroad Commission to do it, the Department of Energy to do it. Don't leave it to them. And then you're loading them with hollow point ammo saying, well, it's okay for them to use it because it's not intended to cause unnecessary damage to the human body. But if you use it in self-defense, it is, depending on which judge you get and which county you're in, state you're in, that sort. And many federal judges are doing this exact same thing, just not to the administrative branch of the federal government, just the citizens. So essentially, you'll go to prison potentially if you use hollow point ammo, but there's a high likelihood that if any of these administrative branches of the federal government are coming to arrest you, they're coming armed with hollow point ammo. Just kind of let that sink in for a little bit. So there you go. Any thoughts or insight on any of this? Definitely put it below. I do want to take a moment and say that most people watch the channel, hey, they're not subscribers. Click that subscribe button. Greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get these messages out. That link is below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. So please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.